Hi, welcome back to Genesis Custom Sabers. And every once in a while I design and build a saber that I'm really reluctant to sell. I'd kind of rather keep it. But since I do this for a living, I will be putting this latest Badaxx Custom up for sale as a custom saber of the month. The first thing you'll notice about this one obviously is the etching pattern. It's very difficult to etch on a curved surface, at least the way I do it, so this was a real challenge and took quite a while to get that pattern. But ever since I've started designing my own patterns for the etching, I've had this one in mind. And I'm calling it a FireVine pattern because that was the kind of imagery I was thinking about, doing research on kind of Viking and Celtic patterns, and to design my own. But I'm really happy with how that turned out, and it gives the saber not only a really cool look, but also a really cool texture as well. Then it took a long time to kind of decide what kind of colors to augment this with, and I went through a bunch of different ideas and finally settled on this. It's kind of like a gunmetal gray. It's a matte, translucent gray powder coating. It's very durable, and so I've powder coated the box and the shroud and the pommel with this as well. And I really like how that kind of sets everything off with some black powder coating on the base layer under the flutes there. So it's a really unique looking Badaxx, and it's every bit as high-end on the inside as it is on the outside. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of kind of how this saber operates, and this will serve as the instructions for the new owner as well. I'm going to sell this saber with the custom fitted case. Actually, hardly custom fitted, it's just blocks that you just cut out in order to fit your saber. But it goes with the saber really well, and it ensures safety when it's traveling and such. And with high-end sabers like this, I rarely sell them with a blade, simply because to sell them in the case, I'd have to ship the blade separately. Most of my clients are in the US or around the world, and really it's more economical for them to order blades from the custom saber shop. You order several blades from the custom saber shop at probably the same price as me trying to ship just one. But at any rate, this saber will be going up for sale soon as the custom saber of the month. As with all the Badaxx sabers that have a high-end sound card in it, there's a kill key. Covers the 2.1mm recharge port to the 7.4 volt internal lithium-ion battery. This, of course, is the Crystal Focus 7.5, which has a number of really cool features, which I'll kind of outline really quickly. But you pull the kill key out, and it gives the boot sound. Activation of the saber is with this button. I'll put a blade in. Blade goes in like this. Blade retention screw, just to make sure that it's not going to fly out while you're dueling. That's the activation button. Saber comes on, you get a bright blue blade. Bar graph animations are actually inside this projection lens. So you'll see that the lens kind of animates itself. It also serves as a projection, so you can project onto any surface. If I hold down the auxiliary button, of course tapping it gets me the blaster block, holding it down gets me the lockup. If I hold down the lockup, it goes into PLI mode, and it shows me that I've only got 3 bars left on the battery, so I better shoot this video quick before the battery runs out and I have to charge it again. It's a fairly long life setup. Now, the interesting thing with the new Crystal Focus version 7.5 is that I can hold the auxiliary button down, tap the activation button, and I get different colors. And I can cycle through 10 different color presets that will come with the saber ready to go. So any of the sound fonts I can just toggle through, decide what color I want. When I arrive on a color, it will now save that color the next time I come through those sound fonts. Of course, to change sound fonts,
sound bank selection.
You hold down the auxiliary button there until you get into the menu. That was Fates. And go to the Shoto sound font. And again, I can change through my colors here. So I come up with one that I want to use for that sound font. This saber is suitable for medium to hard dueling. It is made for fighting with, as all my Badaxx and Ascend production sabers. So it's very durable. I'll show you really quickly how you get access to the internals of the saber. I don't permit the saber to be taken apart. That would void the limited warranty. But I will get out the proper proper Allen key, and I will show you how to take off the pommel and get access to the internals. And one other thing I wanted to point out on this saber is often when I do a high-end saber that's a color changing saber with the crystal focus and the color extender inside, I'll use a Quad-Cree LED, red, green, royal blue, which is ideal for color mixing. But if people want a super bright blade, what I'd recommend is a single color dedicated saber that doesn't change colors, but then I could use for instance on a blue saber, I could use a blue, white, or a blue, royal blue, white. So both blue dyes are dedicated to the blade, and the white dye is dedicated to the flash on clash. You get a brighter, better blue saber, you just don't get the color changing feature. It's a trade-off. A green saber, a bright, dedicated, deep green saber would be a green, white Quad-Cree LED. But with this saber, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to be able to make it a color changing saber, but also give it a very strong, dedicated blue blade. So what I did is I bought a Quad-Cree LED. That's 4 LED dyes on a single PCB. Now it wouldn't fit in any of my machining, so I had to actually machine down the Quad-Cree in order to make it work. It was a little bit more challenging to do, but what that enables me to do is to link the blue dyes, the 2 blue dyes for a dedicated blue blade, and still be able to utilize the other dyes for color changing. So this is a color changing saber, but when it's using a blue blade, whether it's whatever the shade of blue is that I've selected, it's a very bright blue. So it's a blue strong color changing saber. Okay, when accessing the internals, you want to put the kill key in, and that shuts off power to the saber. And then use the supplied 5/64 Allen key. I never use it this way because aluminum is a soft metal and I don't need that much torque. So really, unscrewing the little screw is pretty easy. Now I want to work over a flat surface. That's a pretty small screw. That's a 6/32 thread, 1/8 inch depth screw, which is perfect for this pommel. And of course you hold the pommel in your hands, pressure with your thumb, and you can slide it straight off. It's a really nice fit, and you get access to your speaker holder. You can see the 2-watt bass speaker, a little clip, and inside is the sound card. And you can see the SD card there. A little pressure and that pops it out, and you can just put that in your computer, make changes, add new sound fonts, change sound fonts. You've also got what's the rice port there, which you would be able to plug in the supplied. I'm going to supply this with the saber. The rice cable. You may need to download the drivers from the Custom Saber Shop website in order to access or use this rice cable on your computer. You also need to download the rice program from the Plector Labs website if you wanted to make real-time changes. And if you'd like a video tutorial showing how to use the rice interface program, albeit with a Petite Crouton 3.5, but the functions are very similar with this Crystal Focus 7.5, just click here and I'll provide a link to a video that I did showing some of the things you can do with the rice interface, the real-time internal configuration editor. Of course, when you're ready, you've got your sound card back in, pommel goes on, holes line up. When the holes line up beautifully, you can put your screw back in and thread it on so that your pommel is nice and secure. So that is how to operate this fine high-end saber. Hope that helps the new owner. I know that you're going to be very pleased with this. Thanks again for watching.